Hi folks, Pete Lane. Welcome back to another iPhone 101 episode. Today I want to share 3 specific tips. These are preferences that I like to set up in my iPhone for convenience purposes. Let's go ahead and get started. First of all, do you ever get tired of hearing
landscape, portrait, landscape, portrait,
landscape, portrait, landscape, portrait every time you move or sit up or sit down or lay down? You get my point. Your screen will rotate to either a portrait mode, which is where the phone is upright, the home button is on the bottom of your screen, and the long sides of your phone are on the left and right, or your phone is in landscape mode, where the phone is turned 90 degrees to the right or to the left, and your home button is either on the right or the left. Now, some people like to have that flexibility, particularly folks with some vision who are able to read a screen or see a keyboard, and perhaps the screen layout in landscape mode is easier to read. But I, with virtually no sight, don't like it flip-flopping like that. I want my phone in one position, and I don't want it flip-flopping.
landscape,
It actually drives me crazy. So how do I change that? How do I lock the rotation? Well, it's very simple. First of all, you need to go to your status bar, and the status bar is something that we mentioned in one of our earlier episodes when we reviewed our iPhone attributes. The status bar is a thin strip at the top of every screen, whether you're on your home screen or in an app. It's where the clock resides and all kinds of other information. But it's also the place where we launch both our notification center and our control center. And it's the control center where we want to be to adjust the rotation button of our screen. So what I want to do is touch in the status bar, and my way of doing it is to slide my finger up the center of the screen
inbox, 12:08 p.m., status bar item,
until I get to the clock. The clock, as I mentioned, is in the status bar. When I have my focus in the status bar, in order to open the control center, I will then do a 3-finger swipe up.
12:09 p.m., status bar item,
And I'm still on my clock. So I'll take 3 fingers and touch toward the bottom of the screen and then flick up.
airplane mode, switch button, off,
And I'm in my control center. VoiceOver does not announce that you're in your control center, but as you heard, the first element in the control center is your airplane mode. And as you heard, this button is in the off position, but I'll flick to the right several times.
cellular data, switch button, on, Wi-Fi, Netgear 44, switch button, Bluetooth, switch button, on, media controls, rewind button, play button, fast forward button,
And just past our fast forward button is,
lock rotation, switch button, off,
and as you heard, my switch button is off. The lock rotation item here is the toggle switch, and if you double tap it,
on,
it turns it on or
off,
off. With the lock rotation off, your screen will alternate from landscape to portrait mode.
landscape, portrait,
I want it on.
on,
I will now exit the control center by pressing the home button,
phone,
and I'm back on my home screen. Now, if I turn my phone to the left, nothing happens. If I turn it back upright, nothing happens. It's locked in the portrait mode. The next feature I'd like to review is the auto lock feature on your iPhone. The auto lock is the time after which your screen will automatically lock when there's no activity. Have you ever been annoyed when you turn away from your phone to do something else or to speak with somebody and you come back and your phone is locked? Depending on what types of security measures you have to unlock and open your iPhone, this is a hassle. At the very least, you'll need to press the home button to wake up your phone and then press it again to unlock it. If you have your fingerprint ID activated or your passcode, then you'll have to go through those steps as well to get back to what you were doing. Oops, there it goes. There goes my phone locking automatically. I'll be right back. I need to unlock my phone. Okay, I'm back. Need I say more? Well, the threshold after which your phone locks automatically is pretty much determined by you. I'll show you what I mean. Launch settings.
settings,
Okay, now we need to flick to the right about halfway down the screen, just past Do Not Disturb and General.
general button,
There's General. I'll flick one more time to the right.
display and brightness button,
There we go. Double tap.
Selected. Settings. Back button.
Now there are quite a few features on our display and brightness screen, but we need to get down to the auto lock button, which again is about halfway down this screen. I'll flick to the right.
Display and brightness. Screen brightness. True tone. Automatically adapt. Night shift. Auto lock. 30 seconds. Button.
There it is, auto lock, and as you heard VoiceOver say, 30 seconds button. Being a button, let's give it a double tap.
Display and brightness. Back button.
And let's see what's on this screen. Flicking to the right.
Auto lock. Heading. Selected. 30 seconds.
And there's my selection, 30 seconds. I'll continue to flick to the right and see what our other options are.
1 minute. 2 minutes. 3 minutes. 4 minutes. 5 minutes.
Again, these are the time intervals after which the screen will automatically lock. So you can set this feature for as little as 30 seconds, which is my current selection, and all the way up to 5 minutes. But in addition to those options, we have one more, which is
Never.
So if we select never,
Selected. Never.
then essentially our iPhone will never lock automatically. It won't lock until we turn off our power button. Now this brings with it some responsibility and some pros and cons. Starting with the cons, this means that if you forget to lock your phone, you could drain the battery, depending on how long it is before you come back and lock it manually. Or more importantly, you leave your phone vulnerable for someone else to pick up and explore. And if this someone else is not a friendly person, then they could do some damage, stealing passwords and identity information. But some of the pros are, again, your phone will never lock automatically, which means that you don't have to constantly go back and unlock your phone. Now, my situation is such that I'm retired. I don't go out in public very often. The majority of the time, my phone is within reach in my home, so the risk of a security breach is very low. I've also gotten into the habit of pressing the power button whenever I leave my phone for any significant length of time. But the majority of the time, I am near my phone, and the chances are that I'll be getting back to it within a minute or two to perform some other action on my phone. So I prefer the never option, and having selected it,
Selected. Never.
I can now get out of this particular auto lock screen
Display and brightness. Back button.
by using my 4-finger single tap toward the top of the screen, and then get to my back button, which I'll double tap.
Settings. Back button. Auto lock. Never. Button.
Now let's explore one more option in this particular screen that might be of interest. I'll flick to the right.
Raise to wake. On.
Raise to wake. Now this, as you heard VoiceOver say, is in the on position. And this particular element is a toggle switch. So if I double tap it,
Off.
it turns it off. Again,
On.
turns it back on. Now what raise to wake does is exactly what it says. As you pick up the phone, as the top part of your phone, and I have my phone in portrait mode, as that is elevated, your screen will automatically awaken. Now it will not unlock, but it will be essentially the same as pressing your home button. Once again, in my particular situation, being close to my phone, using it constantly, it saves me time and trouble just to pick it up and have it awake, where I can then just press my home button a second time to unlock it, and I'm ready to go. Now, if this toggle switch is in the off position, whenever you pick it up, you will still need to press your home button to awaken your phone and then press it again to actually unlock it. So once again, these are options which I'm sharing with you. Your decision to take advantage of this option is completely up to you, and weigh it heavily based on your particular circumstances. This concludes this episode in our series. Stay tuned as we review more tips and features of your iPhone. Once again, this series is intended not only to acquaint you with all of the features and benefits of the iPhone, but to make you a more efficient user. If you have any specific topics that you would like us to cover, don't hesitate to contact us at info@blindabilities.com. Until next time, thanks so much for listening and have a great day.